Yeah, so welcome to a foreigner in the Philippines. So I'm just gonna read a comment. I'll just gonna read here an email about does all Filipina married to a foreigner for money, for security, and for assurance. Wow. Can that answer on this matter? So uh, yeah, so the question is does Filipina married to a foreigner for money, for security, for assurance, for stability, So some of it's true, right? We don't want, which I don't deny, which I don't want to, because what do you call that? Some Filipinas came from the hardship, right? Hard life, right? From a very poor families, from a very poor areas, so there's a mindset there, especially for the older. They always say they're always saying that, oh, when you grow up, you're gonna get married to a foreigner for you to have a better life. Yeah, so that's a kind of mindset. What do you call that, darling? That's a kind of already the wording of the older, right? Marry the foreigner when you grow up, So yeah, so the question is marrying is it true that marrying a foreigner is for money? Partially, maybe one part is real, right? But overall, as a Filipina, we married for love. We married because we know that that person is a good person. We know that we married because we know that that person will give us happiness, and at the same time, not just the security but caring. As other videos that we're providing, it's always saying that foreigner is more caring, loving, so that's another reasons why some Filipinas married to a foreigner, because they saw how foreigner is being caring to their wives, to their girlfriends, so do we have so is it true that Filipina married to a foreigner? Yes, and also no, right? Because there are some Filipinas that when they marry to a foreigner, they find work, they find something in order to help their husband, in order to, in other word, darling, it's a kind of, what's that? It's a kind of, what's your face, darling? It's a kind of.
Well, I'm just listening, honey, because I wasn't on camera, so.
No, it's a kind of vice versa benefits, right? To a Filipina, vice versa benefits. Vice versa.
Vice versa.
Benefits, vice versa benefits, because some foreigners married to a Filipina because they want someone to taking care of them, or they want someone who they gonna be companionship, right? So did it
Some,
like there are some foreigner that,
honey, some may want all of that, but all they get is a backseat driver.
but there are some also that there's also like, why is it foreigner some of the foreigner married a younger Filipina, or not, and all.
Because they can.
Yeah, so same with Filipina. Why is it Filipina married to a foreigner? Because for security, for stability, and at the same time, possible they got some bad experience or bad breakups with their Filipino boyfriend, so that's why they just come up to the idea of marrying a foreigner, because of they find that foreigner is more provider, right?
I think that it's a case of some have chemistry with foreigners and some don't.
Yeah. So
When
there
I
are
see
some.
I see that with all of the young people. Some don't have an immediate chemistry with foreigners, but yeah, then some do. So it just depends. Not everybody is interested in how foreigners may or may not behave.
Yeah. So there are some. So it depends on the preferences, right? Preferences, and there are some people. There are also some Filipino women that wanted to go to abroad. For example, going to America, and we all know that going to America is kind of, you're been in the, what do you call that? What do you call that when you do that? Something for your dress? Sinolid? What's the English of that?
When you do what?
It's like very, very, it's very difficult to go to America on your own. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're married to a foreigner, you can go there and marry there, or you married you married here in the Philippines and process, you know. So depending on, so as I said, marrying a foreigner. Is marrying a foreigner is because of money or stability? And the answer is yes, and the answer is no. You know, it might be yes, it might be no, right? Help me.
So often I say to her, so would you like to go or stay? And she said yes.
It's
I
sometimes.
said, no, I gave you
know.
2 choices. You can't say yes to 2 choices. Or I'll ask a question and she'll say agreed.
Ah.
I said, what does that mean? You can't say agreed. I asked you something. Like saying to someone, do you have the time? And they say agreed.
So that's kind of it. So in other words, for me, you know, for
She
myself,
didn't even hear
no,
that
it's,
part.
I got you. You know, for me, if you asked me about it, is I married to Terrence? You know, because the question is kind of are general. So for me, you know, did I marry Terrence because of money? You know, so the answer is no. You know,
The answer is no, because I didn't have any.
Because I remember the first, because she came to Cebu, right? To make it short, I came to Cebu. I set up, find an apartment, you know. I find an apartment which is 3,000 pesos a monthly, you know, which is in the ghetto. It's not really cool. It's an apartment. It's a kind of boarding house.
No, you
know.
couldn't call it. You definitely couldn't call it
It's a kind
an
of boarding
apartment.
house, but it's nicer, you know. It's nicer enough for us. 3,000 pesos a month, you know. So now, that time, his pension is, he got 2 pension. He got 2 pension, but it's not, you know, it's a
Well,
kind of,
they're-
we live
they're
modestly,
modest
you know, we can
pensions,
live
but
modestly.
I remember the conversation that we had, and
Can you move
sorry.
forward your seat so your face will be inside? Can you move forward your seat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's move backward, not forward.
backward.
There.
So
Yeah.
now, what do you
I
call
remember the conversation that we had, and I said, I'm not rich at all. I remember saying at the time also that I'd have to save up to be broke. So I said, but I have 2 very modest pensions, and we would be able to live modestly and have a good life. And so that was as much as I could offer. Now this is so funny. I saw a comment on another channel, and most of the people were saying, well, I've been watching Terence and Beth and watching the work that they do, because they were talking about being a scammer, and then somebody else commented and said, well, of course they're scammers. Terence arrived in the Philippines 8 years ago with no arse in his trousers, or his arse hanging out of his trousers. That was one of my mother's sayings. You know, she would look at someone disparagingly and say, he's got no arse in his trousers, meaning that he was broke. And it's so funny that they said he arrived 8 years ago with nothing, and married Beth, who also, by the way, coincidentally had nothing. So we joined together with our modest income, and then we started a channel. And it's so funny that people think that if you had nothing 8 years ago and now you've got a good life, maybe, and this never seems to enter into their thinking, maybe they worked hard together as a team and they created the life that they've got, which is actually the way that it was. And our critics can never quite get that. Well, maybe they worked hard And you know, we have made. Sorry, you get your turn in a second. Can I just finish my sentence? We have made, I think it's over 12,000 videos. Now, they don't make themselves, you have to work hard at that. And we've worked 24/7. And we've worked together. I didn't look for a caregiver because I enjoy quite extraordinarily good health, fortunately. And Beth didn't marry me for money because I didn't have any. And so
nanay nagpailis unya kanang unsa man ta ilis lang ta di lang ta mo lista sa ilangan or kuan.
Ilista lang.
Lista lang na.
Oh.
Aron maibawan nato kung pilay na kuan.
So what we have, we work for, and we earned.
Wait lang, continue.
Now we're supposed to be here in Etafe. We're supposed to be. We had this bright idea that maybe we could do something positive instead of just criticising the people that drive around with no backlights, which makes driving at night quite hazardous. So that's what we're here to do. We bought 100 one size fits all backlights and front lights, and the idea was that we'd give them away, and if all they had to do was arrive with their faulty lighting on their motorcycle, and we'd fix it. So we have somebody who's going to be act as mechanic. He has the tools and he'll fit them, and we will hope to have a successful day. But if it's not, then it's not, it's okay. And we'll have another fitting in Taliban. But if we go to Taliban and do it, we'll learn from the way that it's happened here, and we'll do what I thought that we should do. Kind of got the bums rush into it with the PMP who we're partnering with, and I think that some miscommunication. They thought that we were all ready to go and that it would be very easy, and I never ever thought that it would be that easy. And my suggestion for when we go to Taliban to do this, my suggestion is that we should have leaflets printed. Get a few hundred leaflets printed, and then we'll go around a few days prior to doing the freebie, and we'll give it to the several hundred motorcyclists. Anybody has a motorcycle, go and I've done this kind of thing, leaflet drops on numerous occasions where I've advertised something. You go and you just put the leaflet under. It's the old-fashioned way, because everybody nowadays is all cyber. But we'll go around and we'll put one of these leaflets inviting them to come and have their backlight looked at and, if necessary, replaced. I was hoping that we would be able to get a amnesty for the day on anything that was wrong. So if they don't have a license or a crash helmet or any of these things, we would still be able to help. So I don't know whether they're expecting us to do something. That's the police cruising by. So far nothing is happening. We're living in hope, but it's okay. What's going to happen? We don't get a ticket for not pulling off a project. It was a good idea.
Oh, we have 2 customers now.
Sorry?
We have 2 customers.
2 customers, where?
Over there. The father said. So, what I gonna do is I will have 2 kilos of rice.
You're gonna give 2 kilos of rice?
Yeah.
You have 2 kilos of rice?
We bought a rice there. You know?
We need to go and buy the rice?
John is already there buying. She got a
Oh, he's
motorcycle.
already doing it.
I wait, and I don't want to buy two bags of rice, and then it's only you know. So it's the
Isn't it, honey, isn't it overkill to give them rice as well? Why don't we just fit the light?
it's nice also. What do you think? It's nice also. It's an arrow. It's an what do you call that? So it's a kind of
Overkill.
Christmas gift.
Yeah, we're already giving them.
I know, but it's kind of you have your light is fit, and then you come home with rice, right? It's. I think 2 bags. 2 bags is 2 kilos each. You know, so
Stinky fish
noodles.
and
1 bag
noodles.
of noodles. I'll do it in Taliban because majority of these motorcyclists are been also a habal-habal driver. You know habal-habal? They're having passenger, you know, bringing it. So
I thought that the idea of having an amnesty.
what is amnesty?
Amnesty is where they know, they see, this is the thing, if they see the police there, they'll think, well, I don't have a license, I can't go and get my light fixed. So if they haven't got a license and they haven't got insurance and they haven't got their registration current, and now they're going to roll up where a policeman is going to fit them a freebie backlight, I don't think so. So in other words, people who need it the most
Yeah,
will not get it.
agreed.
And
But then
that's the issue.
it's kind of also following the law. You know.
Yes, dear, that's the idea of the amnesty.
Ah,
If the police are saying up front, just come in and we'll just be happy for you to come in and get your backlight fixed and then get the hell out of here.
ah.
But they're not going to do that, are they?
I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, so again, have a good day. Thank you so much. And my topic of is marrying a Filipina because of money went to motorcycle.
It meandered on
Have a good day and God bless.
as it
Bye-bye.
does.